It is the Gents Series M, the Gentleman in Class. It's episode 9 and it's gonna be nice. Today I'm delighted to be hosting this beautiful lady. The word, no, not intelligent. What's the perfect way or perfect word to describe Tsebiso?
That's such a difficult question to ask. I feel like people must just describe me ngendlela bona babona ngakhona yabo, because one word.
Intelligence was right.
If you see it like that, intelligence is a good word to use.
When the word that describe you?
Hard worker.
Okay. Welcome to episode 9. It's Series M, as I've said, and today I'm hosting Tsebiso Maruping. Uhlezi umzuthu. Let's dive into it. Your background yakho, or in a nutshell, who is Tsebiso Maruping?
It's Maruping, by the way.
I'm Zulu. I'm bound to say it like I.
Tsebiso Maruping, ngumSotho.
Yes.
Okhulele phakathi kwabeZulu. Hence why ngithi ngumZulu.
Okay.
Because ngeke ungihlebe ngeSotho ne, kodwa ngeke ngikhona ukuphendula ngeSotho. So I was born and raised in Newcastle. A2. I went to high school, Ferrum High School.
Okay, hold it. You know, I always say this, I'm slow.
Okay.
I'm slow. Not that I'm swag.
Okay.
So, are you conflicted with you can't speak isiSotho?
I feel like it's never too late to learn something new. So I still believe ukuthi uma ngithola isikhathi kahle ngizosifunda kahle isiSotho, you know, because there's another language that I still want to learn, njenge French, you know. So when the time is right ngizosifunda kahle isiSotho. Mhlambe ngizoshada umSotho, I don't know.
No. Don't even go there, because on your status you said it plain. What is I'm not gonna marry a Sotho.
So yeah, I don't know, but I still believe in sazosifunda kahle isiSotho. I had the opportunity to go and work and study eGauteng, but I ngashiya phansi ngahamba ngayekapa. So there'll come a chance where I'll learn isiSotho at some point.
You've been traveling, so I see isikhathi well, so that you can settle and learn this language.
Yeah, but maybe I'll disappear because some certain things that I do them mangabe sengibona ukuthi inhliziyo yami ifuna ukwenza leyo nto ngaleso sikhathi. So sangenzenga noma yini, mhlawumbe ngadisappear nje for 3 months or so, ngiyelele isiSotho somewhere where I can learn isiSotho. Anything is possible.
It's pending. So a language to you, or speaking a language to you, does it bring you closer to your heritage or culture, or what?
To a certain point, it could bring you closer, but it doesn't mean good you can't learn history yakhona. No, because I know good my dad's side of the family, they've told me about a history of where I come from, and history is, you know, it doesn't mean that I don't know it because ngasikhuluma isiSotho, you understand?
Okay.
And it doesn't conclude ukuthi ngubani, you understand? Yes.
So we can say you not speaking Sotho doesn't conflict you.
It doesn't conflict me, but obviously I still love learning new things, and I still believe good things ogcine ngisazi kahle isiSotho. God willing.
On a beautiful note, now let's get back to your background. Okay. I like to continue with this. It's going somewhere. Let's take it back. You said like that's where your childhood
Yes, yes, that's where my childhood began. I was raised among 4 boys. Was the only girl.
You're the only girl.
I'm the only girl.
Okay.
Bezidlala ney'moto lapha yini ngey'tina sikhanda isitolo laphayana.
Where is this? Ikuphi lapho?
Ngase stadium e2 khona lezi ndlela lapha phezulu 4 sasihlala ngalapho.
Exactly, stadium.
Yes,
That Third Road.
Yes.
Okay.
We still have. We still have the video. Like ubaba wayo photographer. No, see photographer back then. It was a videographer or something like that. Lumuntu lo bizwayo mangabe kunemshado.
Yeah.
Of course, okay, cameraman. Okay, but back then, we got to a video man or whatever, but it was a word that they called him. So he used to take a lot of videos of us growing up, like in Tengane, like usiyakwazi ukuhamba, usenzani, uyaganga, all those things. We have them with video cassettes.
Okay.
So when Ama CD came, we had to try and convert it to VCD so that we can maintain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Did you at some point get a chance to school in Okshin?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not, because when I had to go start grade 1, actually crash, grade R, we moved to a Drupin. So from there, mina ngaba nehlahla ngangena nje ikoleni zabelungu. Azi noma ngizothi inhlahla noma yini, but you know.
So you'd say ukhule up until mhlambe say like 5 years, then vele kwaba ilo transition.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was it for you life in Okshin?
Impilo yaseLokishini imnandi. Imnandi, it's loud, but imnandi.
It's loud.
It's loud, but imnandi. What I really enjoyed is that we played. So from uvuka uzuyolala kuyadlalwa nje, you know, and you knew everyone ohlala like around you understand. So when we got to a Dropeni, I got a little confused because noma ngikhuluma benginokumemeza ngikhuluma nabomakhelwane and stuff, and the reaction wouldn't be the same, you know. So kumnandi ukuhlala eLokishini.
Yiphi le ngoma that gives you or that takes you back whenever ikhala ikhumbuze eLokishini?
eLokishini.
There must be one song. Akusiya no brand.
Not really. The only song is in Ngodeniam right now is Umlilo, but I don't think we listened to it when I was 5.
Yeah.
I was a little bit older. But Baba bedlala jazz. He was a jazz man.
That's contemporary or
international
jazz.
Even international bekadlala bona futhi.
Okay.
So gcwele Hikeobics nje gcwele
vinyls.
Vinyl.
Okay. You play one that stood out for you.
I forgot his name. But bebethanda ukuyidlala ekhosini.
Okay.
Bebethanda ukuyidlala ekhosini. I think I'll remember it somewhere, but yeah, bebethanda ukuyidlala ekhosini is what I remember.
Okay. Yo, that must be nice. Mina anginayo leyo memory, like ngihleli with one of my uncles playing that music, but ngiyakhumbula nje in a home setup ukuthi most of the times I don't know much, but going somewhere. You're doing a good now, you know. That song was always like on repeat whenever like I was around at home.
But mina bengithandela kwaito mina, guys, yo. I still do, actually. I feel like that was a good music. That was the good music that we had, guys.
Yeah.
That's where I actually started loving it.
I've never imagined you.
Trompisi. Oh, TKZ. That time beklala bona bo TKZ ngefuthi.
All right. Yeah.
Sisabuka bobheni futhi sidlala ibhola.
Your primary kuyiqala kuphike. Let's dive into it.
A primary bengigqoka uniform orange.
That's in
Hatton
Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Hatton Park. Weird. It was weird uniform back then. But bekumnandi because umuntu bekahamba ngeenyawo, besingafaka icathulo. Besisheshe sifika nabangani bami. Sifike sidlale ingqathu, all these indigenous games.
So when you can basically say all your life was around Hatton Heights.
Yes.
Because Guamadu usenzela khona.
For some reason, the universe definitely brought me back here. And it's actually quite exciting because Hatton Heights back then in the 90s is so different to how it looks like right now.
My question was going to be,
you know,
how was
it's so different. Like, ngikhumbula masiye esontweni ngisasemncane sinabo 7 years. So, ubaba waye ngifaka at the back of his back. Sihamba ngeenyawo sisuka ngase Pick and Pay siya edrobheni sasonta ngase Pick and Pay. So we used to walk all that way and back.
What city hall, town hall?
Town hall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And now saskaya lapha la khona I think the name of the school now is different, but it was Faith Christian School.
Okay,
I think they changed the name now. Newcastle corner, golf course back then.
No, I remember.
Yes, that whole area was
in front of what's this place? It's move. Oh man.
What?
I get it.
There's Grace.
Like
there's
church. There is like some church food lab.
Pagate Grace Community Church, Grace Community School.
Like
there is a church in there, food.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we used to walk there. Like even when you go into town, just walk.
Okay.
But now, KFC wonke lo Machuba Mall. Yayingekho yonke leyo nto leyo. Machuba Mall was not there. Wonke la Makaraja corner, Newcastle corner was not there. So it's amazing how things have changed within a few years, you know. And there's still going to be more changes, you know.
A park, did you like had the experience of where corner?
Which park? No more park.
No, I know one. One is like behind the garage, and there's one. I think that side by Umpala. I'm not sure if I'm right.
That's where everybody used to like go to get chola.
Asazi ngokuyilalela Maruping this interview. Kuzoba
Kang sholo ukuthi abantu kade bejola
khona. Now you rephrasing your statement. Hey.
Yeah, of course we went to the park. At that time it was actually safer to go to the park, to go kuyodlala nabangani bakho. Akufana manje.
Was there that, you know, the apartheid time?
Was there apartheid?
You know, already apartheid, I would say, like they say silent. Azange mhlambe you get that experience kuthi nihlangane nabantu and they treat you some type of way.
It happened a couple of times. There's a time where we were walking. Umama has always loved exercising, so there's a time we were walking with umunye makhelwane lapha sesihlala ngakhona. Sasihamba like ngabo 5 ntambama so. And then kwafika amabhuna u2 who were probably in their 18 teen years actually.
Yeah.
And randomly bashange pepper spray. You understand? And saying yabo. So I didn't really understand, but I knew what was happening was wrong, yabo. So that's just one of the incidences that happened, Gisakula, which I can highly remember.
Eskolweni, was it a culture shock as well, multiracial?
Yeah, there was a couple of things, but there's nothing that I can pinpoint or
No, I'm
remember
not
that
saying
happened,
the schooling
you know?
is like racist or
Yeah.
apartheid, but Nishmuti, to you, was it a culture shock now? Ufunda nomlungu eklasini errol.
No, I wouldn't say it was a culture shock for me, because when I started with grade Ari, I started at Sunny Bank, like at Dropin. So
Okay.
for me, that's when I started school. So it wasn't really a culture shock. ngaleyo ndlela, yeah.
Also, like you adjusted.
No, I adjusted very well. Isingisi ngashesha ngasibamba. There's a saying, bahleze bangidelela ngayo bethi ngangihleze ngihamba ngaphandle ngithi peace in our land, yabo. Basically because uBandela bekasanda kuphuma futhi ejele. So I always had this phrase that I love saying mangihlangana nabantu emgwaqweni.
How much are you like political minded? It's one of the questions that comes after.
Not kakul. Not kakul. Politics is not my favorite thing. But unfortunately, politics does control our lives.
On this podcast, I had a guest of fortune, and we mostly ask this question, like send a question to your next guest, of which is a mystery. So she left the question, Uti, how are you doing?
How am I doing? Wow. Fortune, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, surviving, and yeah.
And the real question was, who are you?
Who am I? I am Tsebiso, also known as TMM, which are basically my initials. I am I still call myself young, and I still will call myself young. I'm a young woman who is driven by a lot of things and trying to change the world step by step in my way.
Nicely said. Who are you? And does physio really explain who Tsebiso is?
Yes, physiotherapy. When I started being interested in it, not a lot of people knew physiotherapy. So when I decided to do it, it was something I knew that I needed to do because I love helping people and I enjoy working with people. So with physiotherapy, it's something I enjoy doing.
Penduli question ngati you under PR.
Like I want
PR. Who is winner now?
No, I want to no.
It's like
cut.
a trash.
No, it's just the question you asked. It wasn't the question I was waiting for. Like in Lindele, like you know.
No.
How?
Question.
This is almost going to what is physio? Tell us about physio. Like you know.
Because I said with background, there was a story you told me, like the background.
Yeah, why did you decide on doing physio? Would have been more appropriate. Would have been more appropriate to ask. You understand?
Okay. Let's
fine.
finish up. Like you went to heights and then.
Yes. So in primary and high school, I played a lot of sports. Mina bengathanda kakhulu ukuhlala endlini nje. Hayi ukuthi bengijola nani but bengithanda ukuyodlala sports. And I played netball, I played cricket. I wish I played soccer, which I wish kube ngifundele lokushini ngabe ngidlalela ibhola. And from that I realized ukuthi how khona that's why physiotherapy. Yabo. Ngahamba ngafunda physio university.
Wait. Esikolweni u discover lokho esikolweni.
Ukuthi ngifuna ukwenza physio.
Like physio.
Yes, discover esikoleni ukuthi khona that's why physio.
What was the situation?
With sports, I can see when you start watching soccer, when you start watching netball and all these other sports on TV, you realize ukuthi awubani manje lo muntu lona ohlezi agijima. Makumuntu yeah, makumuntu olimalayo ubani loyana yabona ohlezi abalungisa so quick. So that's when I learned there's actually something called physiotherapy.
Okay.
Not udokotela, utisha, all these other common things that were there in the 90s. And then applied in Cape Town, applied in Gauteng, which was one of the opportunities I had to actually go learn Isotho.
Okay.
And then I realized, no, man, I've never been to Cape Town. I'm definitely going to go to Cape Town to study physio. Went to Cape Town. While I was studying, again at Cape Town, I played in netball. Played for the Western Cape in that side. I injured my ankle, one of the biggest ligaments umsipha ngesiZulu.
Okay.
Couldn't walk for about 2 months. Missed isikolo for about 2 months.
Uhlele endlini that time.
Ngihlele endlini because they had to fly me back to Durban so that I can get an operation ngapha. And then I had to fly back. Masasengi rights like masakuthe ukubohla kancane ngabuyela ke move. But that incident taught me a lot about not to give up and that humans can also let you down, basically, you know. So
before you continue and say human lets you down,
yeah.
was physio exposed to you mhlambe doing a career expo at your high school days?
Not physiotherapy initially, no. Those other careers, engineering, the other common ones like engineering, teaching, the physics, but not physiotherapy.
I'm curious to know, were you already like thinking about doing physio when you are still in your high school days, or there was some career of which you had in mind?
So in high school, I did maths, physics, life science, and interesting enough, I did electrical technology, where I was the only girl in the class amongst, I think it was 25 guys. So, and I love sports. So I wanted, first of all, something that is going to combine me helping people and combining sports. Initially, when I chose physiotherapy, it was because I wanted to be a sport physio. And then my second choice was in the engineering field because I was so good. No case. Yabo. So it was either that or this. It was either physio or engineering. And the physio, it was because the love for physio came when I was playing sports.
Okay. And my other question, a pop up just now. Can you basically say you being the only lady amongst the boys, like,
do I feel intimidated?
No. Made you realize that you need to work harder and depend on yourself, like, mostly?
Yes, kakhulu. Especially endlini, kunobhuti wami engimlamayo, uSchaba, shout out to Uschaba. And he inspired me because when like, no, you can do that, I can do that better, you understand? So even when itlasin electrical technology, it was the same thing. Like I realized, okay, because we're all human beings, that means we can all do anything, basically.
No,
so it motivated me. It's not good to hlampe bengifuna ukubangisa nabantu anything. No, I just felt like, no, nami ngizokhona ukwenza lokho okhona ukwenza now.
Okay.
And probably do better. Ngiyadlala.
I have so many questions, but I think the interviews will last this cut seat.
Yeah,
How about we take it to the mountain?
definitely. Are you ready?
Yes. I
Sampi.
Welcome to Grey Goose GWC podcast, episode 9. Yes. What a lovely hike we just had. I'm feeling tired.
Are you feeling tired?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, eh? But it's hot. It's like 33 degrees today.
Hey, today I feel like
burning.
it's 40. I feel like it's 40. Thanks God for this shade. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good one.
Case.
So the idea came because of that. Also because I had never hiked before in Newcastle. Growing up, it was just netball, sports, other stuff. But I'd never heard anybody say, we're going hiking wherever. We're going hiking, you know. I'd never heard any trails that are in Newcastle for hiking or clubs.
Have you hiked?
With the advantage
Have you
of...
hiked?
I've hiked before.
Okay.
But with the advantage of going to study in Cape Town is where my love for the mountains actually, started. So when I came back to Newcastle, I was like, no, how can I continue this love for hiking in the small, beautiful and developing town? And that's where Hikeobics started.
Okay.
Yo.
Asipindele futhi siyo hike.
Sibele siyo hike.
Yeah, asibele siyo hike.
Sure.
It was lovely. Kodwa yashisa.
Yeah, but you feel refreshed now that you're done. You feel like you've achieved something. Your body has this feel good.
Thanks to this shade. Thanks to this shade.
Thanks to the shade.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Now let's start it from the beginning. The name physiotherapy. Yenzani physiotherapy.
So physiotherapy is actually very broad, but physio is the one person that helps you to get back to functioning, either the way that you used to function before you got injured or before you got ill, or as close as possible. So when I say as close as possible, there are instances where you can't necessarily get you back to where you were before, but the important thing is for you to function. You understand?
Okay.
So for example, there's things called crutches, which are indugu, that you've seen around where people use indugu. The important thing is indugu help you to be able to walk from A to B.
Okay.
You understand? So you are able to function.
Okay.
So physiotherapist is there to help you to be able to function and do the daily things that you used to do before. But even though some things might be, modified, but uzokhona ukube uphile.
Mhlawumbe like ngendlela esi understand ke, let's say ukhuluma nogogo singayisho ngesilungu uchaza uthini ngogogo physiotherapy.
Ngiyamtshela ugogo ngithi ngilana ngizokusiza ukuthi ukhona ukuthi ukunyakaza ngendlela obunyakaza ngakhona before ugula noma before uphuka lelo qakala lelo noma iqola liba buhlungu. Yimi engizokusiza ngikuvoca voce ngikhona ukukufundisa indlela yokuthi uzokhona ukwenza kanjani mawufika ekhaya nokuphila.
Okay. Interesting.
Ngiyabona izulu sami siyashaya kodwa.
Okay. You said you had love or you passion or qale kanjani vele ke now you find yourself falling in love with the physiotherapy and ubona ukuthi into I can do with like kube career kimi.
it's immediately when you start to see umuntu ajabula uma ngabe uqala ukumsukumisa, you know. It's the reaction that each patient that I started seeing safunda, where I knew ukuthi ila fanele ngibe khona, you know. Uma ngabe umuntu ngesikhathi angakhona ukuthi ngiyabonga, yabo, kodwa uyabona ebusweni ukuthi iyam excited and ukuthi hayibo ngizokhona ukuhamba futhi, ngizokhona ukudrive, ngizokhona ukusebenza futhi, yeah, understand. So it's just the reaction that you find from each patient that you see that motivated me, and that still motivates me right now.
Oh, very young this question. So kahle you, okay, let's say send example nje manje bangena umuntu ungena vele akwazi ukuhamba, yini into yokuqala mhlawumbe ufanele isho kuye, because I think the therapy, as the word physiotherapy, therapy, it's like holistically, I mean it's like spiritual, kuyangena lokho.
It depends though on the type of physiotherapist that you have. But the way that I tackle it is I try to tackle each session holistically. So umuntu mangangena ezongibona fanele ngiqale ngimbuze, you understand. So in physiotherapy there's a certain course that you also do that is psychology, you know. Right. Psychology 1 that we do, because you need to be able to maintain a situation should it go south. Okay. When I say south, I mean there's different types of people that can come to physio for different reasons. Kodwa umuntu angangena ethuza kwi-physio kanti mhlambe une depression, you understand, and it can go south at any point.
So point number 1, umuntu mayizo eza go physiotherapy, what you need to do is restore hope qala, or you build the hope within yena ukuthi azokwazi ukuthi ayimukele this rehabilitation as it goes nganoma session.
I need to first find out what is wrong with the person. I can't just give them hope first without finding out. Yeah, it's first. That's why I need to ask for information first. Background, do a subjective assessment, and then mangiqeda fanele ngenze objective assessment, which is physical. So I need to do a test army just to find out ukuthi lento stila nayo ikangakanani, you understand. And then I can be able to tell you, okay, this is what we have, this is the situation, this is what we can do, this is what will happen if we do A and B. Okay. Then I'll be able to give you the hope, or realistic hope, or then we'll be able to do a plotting hypothesis of what is happening.
Kuyafika yini at some point ukuthi umbonile umuntu and you find yourself so hambe nayo inkinga yakhe ekhaya?
Can you repeat that? If somebody walks in and then
like you consult her with somebody today, and you end up like attached ku situation la afika nayo mhlambe, then it affects you emotionally to the way lokuthi ufike endlini now you are emotional.
Well, in the beginning it was difficult to situation yomuntu. I think COVID taught me how to actually live like ukushiya into eyenzeke emsebenzini, and then when you get home and you be Tsebiso, you understand. So just like ama actors and actresses, they play a certain role, mangabe bese stage mabephuma lapho, they get back to their role. So with me as well, mangisemsebenzini ngiyi-physio, yes, I'm still Tsebiso, but whatever happens there, I need to leave it there and then go home and be umama and be whoever that I am at home, you understand. So it's not easy, but I just had to learn how to
debrief.
Yeah, to debrief myself. And it does happen sometimes where you really do get attached, because sometimes impilo akusimpilo yethu, you understand. uNkulunkulu uses us to help people, and sometimes you can do the best that you can for umuntu, but then uNkulunkulu decides no, cut off ila.
Ilokhunjane ke like I'm thinking about ilokhunjane lockdown.
Yeah.
I must give credit and a highly appreciation from me. I find myself being a member Hikeobics club. Angijona futhi ngamaform. Ujona ngenhliziyo. Imnandi ukuthi ujona ngenhliziyo.
Which
There's
is
no joining
good.
fee. And I can really say ukwenza hiking was suddenly a getaway eyangisiza ukuthi I survive COVID because ingihlasele kawu2. But my hope was within ukuthi I'm gonna go and hike. That's where my hope was restored and I was full of life.
I can say the same thing because Nami, if it wasn't for hiking, I wouldn't have survived COVID. Remember, COVID ran about 3 years, So with the physio, people don't know what the physio was actually here with umuntu who had COVID esibhedlela. So we were the people that were actually there telling you about ukuthi khwehlela. You understand? It wasn't just a doctor or nurse, but if physio was right hand next to umuntu, you understand? So we often saw people die in our hands as well. So hiking was one of the things that saved my life during COVID. Reason being is when you go hiking, you are certainly out of the normal environment that you are on a day-to-day. Like you hearing the birds, you hearing umoya lo nozwayo.
It's fresh.
It's so fresh. It's not imoto aziki imoto lana. You can see it there from afar, but it's nature and it naturally just calms you, and nemicabango yakhe iyashintsha mangabe ulanga phandle.
Right. Now asiqale ke siyayihlanganisa ke picture yethu.
Okay.
With the physiotherapist. Also kuyenza like in your foundation phase mawuqala ufundela ukuba physiotherapist.
The first year we kind of do physical science, we do chemistry, we do anatomy again, so we go in depth again, physiology, psychology. That's the beginning of it, and then as you go into it, then they teach you how to do an interview, how to do counseling, how to take subjective assessments. Within the third year, so that's when you start seeing I'm a patient. Okay. So for example, from 7:30 until 12, you are in different hospitals and clinics, and you are treating I'm a patient, of which you don't get paid for, but it's good experience. It's good experience. And then from 12, we are to the lecture room. Then from 1 until, I can't remember, I think it's until 4 o'clock, lecture. Third year is the most difficult time or difficult year because of the fact that extend we are sebenza, and then dambama we are fund. You understand? Most people, they fall asleep while there's lecture time. So third year is difficult, and then the fourth year is honors, so we're doing a lot of research.
Why do you say it's difficult?
In terms of energy, no, it's doable. The fact that we were able to do it, it's definitely doable. There's nothing to be afraid about. But I just need to be honest as well. It's not just a walk in the park. It's a good experience. You learn how to discipline yourself in order for you to be able to treat my patient ekuseni ntambama ukhona ukuhlala ulalele kuma lectures. So it is doable. Just that it's not a walk in the park, so I'm not gonna
Right. Who was your inspiration amongst the physiotherapy, what career or
there wasn't anybody specific.
There must be someone, but ubukela ukuthi yabo lo muntu mayingena nangendlela enza ngaye.
I
It's
don't
more
think.
like it.
No, I didn't have somebody that was a physio that inspired me. Good by physio kanje. I
Okay.
think I saw a lot of physios even when I got myself injured. I
Okay.
even went to a physio at Cape Town, Nala, in Newcastle.
Mm.
But the way that they worked and the level of service that I got from them, I learned a few things because I sat down because I don't want to be a physio kanje. You understand? So I took I don't want to say I'm a mistakes, but I took
No. Sure, asking
I took mistakes that they did when they were trying to treat me cutting limele, and I used that to my advantage, So there wasn't a specific physio where I said, wow, like this is what I want to be. Maybe I didn't have the opportunity to I don't know, but there isn't one that comes to mind.
Mistake.
A simple thing like a technique. A simple thing like a technique.
Why no mistake? Was it post you studied or?
Yeah, some things were things that I had already studied because so there were things like the one physio I went to I walked in and they didn't even ask me like my history, or they were just and didn't even give me exercises, and so it was just those things where I didn't feel like I was welcome, and Lomuntu Lona actually is taking me like umuntu important.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So, and another doctor that I went to, I remember him saying that I won't be able to run again. So
you lost hope.
I lost hope. Yeah, and it's one thing that I try to avoid saying to a patient when I see good. There might be a challenge in this one, being able to go back to playing sports. But I try to use the right words. If you tell somebody you're not going to be able to run anymore, it's quite difficult for them to have hope. You rather try them. It's okay. You'll be able to walk. Let's see when you've walked how it goes, and then we can jump into running. So there was no hope. It was just like, you're not going to be able to run.
Okay. So with that with being said, at the stage is of how you assess like the level of rehabilitation muntu like his of I don't know if me was that question.
So there is acute stage. So acute stage is, for example, you are walking now, as we were hiking, and then you can't walk. Then we take you to hospital. That is acute stage. Acute stage means that into enzeke manje. It's a acute stage. And then uhlala esibhedlela. Uhlala esibhedlela uzobona udokotela, uzobona iphysio, ne? Masifika thina iphysio will try, depending on if you have injured you have broken your tambo or you have broken umsip, then we'll be able to treat you as bedlet. More phuma esibhedlela mabek discharge sekuzongena ku intermediate, so it's the middle phase of your rehab. Ne?
Okay.
That's when you still might need to go to physio, And then when you get to physio, lapho ke sesiyaqhubeka futhi sesiyakutreata ngendlela ethe ukuhluka kancane compared to the hospital. And then when it gets to a part where now we are close to getting you to your full functional phase, is where it's the late stage of the rehab. So lapho sesenza izinto intense, like ngobona amabholeni masebefaka ama-cone and you're doing like these hectic things. Yeah, that's the late stage. So you don't just jump a phase.
So vele umuntu within the first assessment you can distinguish ukuthi uzohila.
Yeah, you can.
In a short time, or
you can actually distinguish, and you can also distinguish in mindset your muntu according to mangabutata is subjective assessment. So mangikubuza ukuthi uyajima yini yabona, if ungajima you already know ukuthi okay lo muntu mindset kanje, lo muntu mindset the
even the
might prognosis. There's a lot of things that where you can see ukuthi i-mindset kalona kanjena or i-prognosis izova kanje.
Hey, kuyafundwa. All right. Then post ke na ke yini ke esukuyenzeka ke umuntu usuyambona ukuthi hayi is coming along very well.
Lapha sekho kuningi kakhulu okwenzayo, mostly just uyampusha nje, you
Exercise.
know, a lot of exercise there, a lot of strengthening, a lot of functional things, you know, and you also try to get them back to emsebenzini. So there's instances where, for example, there's somebody who works in mine, yabo,
Okay.
but that person cannot do lo msebenzi abawenza before. But there is something called light duty. So then you propose, it's okay, you can go back to work, but I'll be fit to actually go down. You know, where in the mine shaft, I'll be fit for that. And then we try to get you a lighter duty. And then, but also
Hey, yes, you know, this episode can take is courtesy because I have a river of questions. No, not even, in oceans of questions.
We've got the whole day.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's still 3:00.
Still I wanna go hike. Still wanna go hike. So as champion back to your youthful days. Ngitholile ukuthi Tsebiso was involved in an organization called Black Child Foundation. Tell me about the Black Child Foundation.
Black Child Foundation, when I moved to Newcastle, it's one of the foundations that I can't even remember how I found them, but we found each other at some point. And I had this love for helping people as well, you know, which also comes with physio. And then we discussed what we wanted to do in Newcastle, and we found ourselves helping people at that time. Yeah.
Iqala kanjani ke Hikeobics?
Okay, so So Hikeobics yaqala kanjani? So
No, yini qala. My first question is yini ya motivator ukuba khona kwe Hikeobics?
When I moved to Newcastle, I wanted to continue hiking. So ngabuka ngathi yo Newcastle incane, angikhumbuli nje kunendawo esinga hike kuyona la Newcastle. And then I had to ask around first of all. And find indawo as a hiker. And then when I found a couple of places, then I had to educate people, you know, start over and educate. It's okay. Do you want to come hiking? Yeah, going to hike. You know, a lot of people thought it's hitchhiking. It can be patients, lapana, ATMM, it can be esibhedlela, it can be family friends.
You're not painting me a picture. We're motivating a viewer lapana who might be interested to call into enjoy.
Yeah, in the beginning though, it was different to when, you know, Hikeobics started growing. That then I can say, good, this is how I got people. But in the beginning, it was friends.
Okay.
Like it was friends who told friends, you know, and it was family who told family friends, and then they could come. The first hike that we had, we only had 8 people.
Yeah, good.
Sasia Emo Field.
Okay.
In Normandy.
Yeah.
We only had 8 people. And at that point, I knew that for each hike to continue happening, I needed at least 4 people. I didn't really care about like how many people would come, but the fact that I was hiking and doing what I love, you know, it was exciting for me. I was happy. It was about 10 or 4. You understand? At least I would have gotten that 4 people, that 8 people moving, and they would have told other people, you know, wherever they come from, whether they baphume emadadeni noma osizweni noma uTrack noma eTandi, they would have told them ukuthi hey yazi sihambise wecace intaba yabo. And then from that it started to grow. From the 8 where I was just like I will always be 8. Then it grew and grew and grew and grew. And
I think the first time you get Kala meet it was in 2019 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And Vele Sase Mofield.
Yeah.
You remember?
It was we had a tourist tour.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember very well. We were in the bus.
And we hiked for like bus. 2 kilometers.
Yes, that was a short hike. That was a short hike, but yeah, I remember meeting you for the first time.
At that point, you were certain that this is gonna be a legacy or something I do forever. Or because I say nice cat like corner, you figuring it out.
I was still figuring it out at that time.
Okay.
All I knew is at that time is that I want to continue hiking and I want to make other people know about this, and I want to make more of the people of Basenyo Kasela to actually start hiking and to actually start moving and changing a lifestyle yabo.
Asipha abantu ulwazi ke in your empilweni yakho, what are the difficulties that you have faced and how did you encounter and conquer it?
Okay, I think the first difficulty I had was the injury that I had when I was studying. I encountered it by not giving up. So I remember when I came back, saying zoqala ngifunda, so ngangihamba ngeinduku. And if you know campus life, it's what elinye class lile elinye lile. So I remember calling my mom and say, no, ngicela ukubuya ekhaya ngizoqala phansi the following year because ngabuya seku end of October.
No, I'm just imagining that.
Yeah.
That must be.
Yeah. And I looked at the, 2 months ever since, it's a lot of work. So my mom was just like, my mama nje wathi ayikho ingane yami ezovela give up kanjalo yabo. You
already
rather
you have lost hope.
Yeah, I had lost hope. And she was like, no, you rather, how can you just give up without even trying? You rather try, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least you would have tried. So within those 2 weeks before the exam started, azanglali, I was studying straight up, and luckily uNkulunkulu wangiphasisa ngaphasa, so from that time, that difficulty taught me not to give up, and not to give up until I know it's okay, this is not for me.
You played decision or I target to make things functional for you because you were unable to get. Did you decide to go?
No, I decided to go. I would go with the crutches. I would go.
And the next lecture.
I think I didn't think about the time. I just thought of that. I just had to go. And there's points where I needed to find like office in like some of the things. So I think it wasn't about his cards, it was just I knew that I had to do this. I didn't just come yonke lendlela ukuthi ngigive up ngibuyele ekhaya eNewcastle ngaphethanga lutho, no. So yeah, and then when moving right along after I graduated, ngabuya ngafunda ngasebenza eMpumalanga, and then I came to Newcastle and decided to open a practice yam. So I had my papers before I could officially have like a location ga TMM. And you don't necessarily just start a business without, So I remember applying to so many institutions, asking for funding, and they all turned me down,
Mm.
like literally. And there's a point where Umama was like, my mom came. My mom is one of my biggest inspirations as well. But there's a point where she was like, yo, suzokwenza njani ke mntanami yabo? And I realized that time ukuthi physio needs your hands
Okay.
more than it needs a physical address, but it needs your hands, and you can still run your business with hands. So for the first couple of months before I officially had an office, I was using my hands and I was doing a home visit. So I would come to your house. I would advertise the TMM. It was on Google Maps or Google. Whenever you could go to Google and you type TMM Bacon, and more phone bukhona ukusithola, but there was no physical address. Bengisebenza futhi nase clinic. And when we had a physical address, there were other challenges. Like, I remember there was a burst pipe, tiles. There was just delays and delays and delays and delays until God was like, no, this is the time now. This is your premises. So we had our first premises in Newcastle Corner.
Okay.
Next to the gym, which worked out very well. Got a lot of sport injuries. And things were a bit difficult in the beginning because when I started TMM, I already had a car which needed installment. So it was either it had to go, and if it goes, that means I can't do home visits. That means there's no income. You understand? So it's those difficult decisions that Umuntu had to do, or had to do in the beginning when TMM started. But I'm glad that I was able to push through them, to get where I am right now.
Usakhuluma like being independent. Imaphi amanye futhi mhlawumbe ama struggles one or ama difficult one faces, and mhlawumbe uma uyaconquerisha kanjani? I think the first one nje efike engqondweni kimi ukuthi, how am I going to make it? Because mangibuka nje manje imali is not enough to pay rent. Like, you can take it from there, like those difficulties.
I think for me, the economy.
Yeah.
The economy right now is what honestly motivates me to push harder. Because if you're looking at the economy and you're like relaxing at home, I got it wrong. Like, the economy right now does not allow you to sit at home and relax. It doesn't, guys.
Yeah.
The economy, serious. It does not allow you to relax. And if you are, I don't even watch TV. Because okay, there's an idea that I need to, implement. So the economy doesn't not allow you to rest right now.
It's TV. That's like your imposter.
Iyabambezelana vele TV. Iyabambezelana kakhulu. Although sometimes I wish and I miss watching abamama movies nani, but
do you get time to read a book?
I try by all means to read more. Within the last year or two, I've been trying to read more because Gisakula, it's something I never really did as often as I wish I did. So I realized reading, it actually improves the vocabulary, and it's something that I'm trying to instill to my son right now, because I want him to actually love reading and to improve the way that he speaks. So I wish I could have loved it as much, but it's fine. I'm trying now by all means to read more.
You think what that motivates you?
Smart Woman.
You just read.
Smart Woman.
Smart Woman.
Yeah,
by
it
who?
speaks about finances and how as a woman you must break through boundaries. You must break through boundaries and how to handle money. So one thing I've learned as well is that unfortunately, but thina bantu abamnyama we still need to learn more about handling money the right way.
Finances.
Yes. And I wish in high schools they would put it with syllabus, just like life science, just like life orientation. I wish the financial part they would just put it there for everybody, not just abandaba keto ukfundi accounting and all these other things that are in finance, but just basic handling of imali, know, and what to do. Because even that's good physio, you learn about amatambo nomzimba womuntu, but when it comes to opening your own business and being able to know how to handle imali, it's very easy for you to think that you've got a lot of money when you don't. When you don't, because we are able to money and you're like, okay, but then you realize, good, no, you actually don't have money. No, you don't.
Business
imali anyway. It's hard to uzo or business. You understand? Your business now finally kokelu SARS, koki vet, koki all these other things, and you realize that you don't have money. Can't you? If you hlala ubuki phone, you can't get imali ukuthi I will reach, but you're not. You only reach when you have imali ehleli oyibonayo ukuthi ayindawo ayidingi futhi kuyandawo ureach ke lapho. Hayi mayisangena mangabe isoloku ihleli endaweni yakhe.
Is that book practical to even men?
It can be.
Okay.
It can be.
I love to go and check it out. All right. Now let me just I want to continue, but I think it's safe because the line is still shisa coolness.
I just can I wear my shades?
Go on. see outdoor. So let me just ask you a question. Like a question. Your next guest. What would be that one question of
I would like to ask my next guest if there is one thing or two things that you would love to change in Newcastle. What are the two things that you would love to change in Newcastle?
Nice question. All right, so okay. Now this last question: if you are given a chance to be a president, you know I change or you know I motivate to Quebec.
Yo, ngashintshile load shedding fana. I ngashintshile load shedding. Yo.
Are you gonna be political?
No, I'm not being political. No,
Okay.
but load shedding, you can muntu engam affects load shedding. You understand?
Yeah.
It affects everybody. Whether you have a business or you don't have a business, whether we ingane noma usingane, because ningane feels how okay, so why you okay so ham. I understand ingane why you okay so ham. So I definitely try to tackle indaba yellow shading. And having said that, it's also the system behind it. If okay, so fanele uhambe ngo-12 series, fanele uhambe ngo-12, ungahambi ngo-12, ungahambi ngo-12:30. Why isn't there a proper system in place for it good uhambe as scheduled? You understand? So it's just the system behind load shedding. Load shedding, it shouldn't be. Yes, it is a problem, but it's the functioning of it. You understand? And also, I would change ugutuke sungahambi kuma robots. You understand? Ama robots mangabu ugesi ungekho.
So German shoot is thing nje ama
System.
solar powered.
Yes, you can do that. Or switch nje ama robots nje mangabu ugesi uhamba ungahambi kuma robots. You understand? Because ishintsha yonke into le ingozi ziba iningi mangabe ugesi uhambile because of ama robots angasebenzi. And omunye umuntu thola ukuthi ama robots they are off. And immediately yena usasebenzisa stop and go kanti selithi green ugesi usubuyile. lithi green for lo munye umuntu avela hambe wena usalindele ukuhamba bese ziyashayisana le moto. So it's just a proper system in place that needs to be placed for load shedding. Ukuthi ugesi kwamasipala nje fanele kuhambe ngesikhathi esishiwoyo. I would definitely just try to handle indaba ye load shedding, and I would improve indaba ye employment.
Okay.
So employment mina lama 350 I would have taken them. I would have taken them and used it to increase imsebenzi for labo bantu laba ma 350, you know. They rather work for leyo 350. Yes, they are human beings, banezandla bayakhona ukwenza izinye izinto, but lama 350 lawa fanele asebenze ngendlela right, and if lama 350 singaw calculator ukuthi aba malini, surely we can build isibhedlela, we can build something ezolekelela ukuthi abantu bathole imisebenzi.
Nicely said.
And then
Okay. All right, continue.
Kuning, and enye into bengizo nakhunga bengizo ngithena ama 350 or load shedding education. Education nje mayibe mahal.
Kuthiwa vele mahal education.
Mayibe mahal.
Yazi ukuthi nje yithini esiphoqayo ukuthi sesibhadala school fees.
Mayibe mahal. There's a lot of money that goes to other projects that could help in the education sector. And there's other countries where transport is free, you know. If transport can also be
to where? All over.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
Yeah. There's countries that transport is actually free. But right now, load shedding. There's a lot of businesses that have closed down because of load shedding. There's a lot of people who have lost their jobs because of load shedding. So right now, top of the list is the load shedding.
Now it has been lovely. Episode 9, and it was nice.
It was definitely adventurous and nice. I don't know about nice, but
no, it's episode 9 for
okay.
Nice.
Okay, I definitely enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me.
As I wanted to ask you about Kunjana, like those interviews that you had.
Before.
Yep. What was your first interview?
First newspaper interview. Or
No. Your first interview, like with your friend.
The first one I had was with Dr. Shafter. Yeah, Shafter. She came hiking once. She's from the Free State, at Kwakwa, I think.
Okay.
And she came hiking once, and she was like, "No, listen, I need to do an interview with you." She has a YouTube channel as well, and yeah, that was the first interview I had.
Okay. All right. It has been lovely. Thank you very much. See you on episode 10. Sharp.